here for the first PreDiRe Symposium. Good morning everyone, and thank you for joining, all of you online from all continents. If all online participants would like to email us your name, title and affiliation, then we will make a master list of participants to circulate to all of the attendees. So PreDiRe means preventing disease and its recurrence in type 1 diabetes. This is a very important event for all of us because we are bringing together physicians. This is our team, immune intervention. We have 5 protocols now under development and consideration. We all think differently, thank God, so a very interactive and dynamic team. And patient, family, lay people, and fundraising organization to try to put heads together to see how can we develop successful strategies for both prevention of disease, but also prevention of disease recurrence after a successful intervention strategy.
I just wanted to really compliment Dr. Riccordi for moving forward. And I just have a little gift for him. And this is from a mother of a child with type 1 diabetes. She's a very well-known artist. And it has the tridents in the corner. So this is a little gift from all of the families that have been helped by what he's doing.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
So I'd like to thank the foundation, the Diabetes Research Institute Foundation, the JDRF and EMSLI, and all the wonderful entities that are helping support the work we're doing at the DRI, and all the wonderful collaborators. It's my pleasure to introduce to you my co-chairperson, Sonia Critton, President of the Children with Diabetes Research Foundation.
So about 27 years ago, my son was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes. My sister, he's now 28. My sister has had type 1 diabetes, so I've been personally involved in this and had the great pleasure in my life to work with just phenomenal expertise of people like Dr. Riccordi. Actually got a chance to work with the late Dr. George Eisenbarth, and worked side by side with Dr. Peter Chase, and was on a grant review board. The idea of having nothing to do for a child with type 1 diabetes is extremely frustrating for families. We can do something. I don't think we ever want to design a study again that precludes you from adding something if we find it could be beneficial.
And we also probably need to think about genetics. So we know about some polymorphisms in the genes that are associated with fatty acid metabolism. So understanding more about that. One of the things I've worked on in our department is the development of pharmacogenomics. And so now we do pharmacogenomic testing for a number of classical drugs in our health system. We report that into the medical record and provide physicians with recommendations on dosing and toxicity associated with specific drugs.
Now, if you can still have a little energy to hear Jessica Dunn before the break, would be fantastic to have an update from.
I'm just going to talk a little bit about the state of T1D care. This is something that JDRF has started talking about a little bit more regularly, because I think when all of us are in the moment, we feel very frustrated about where we are. And what we've actually done is take a step back and try to take a little bit more global view about how far we've actually come, thanks to many of you in the room and on the phone. You know, we talk about insulins, which we're not really spending a lot of time today talking about, but less than 50 years ago, and if we even go back further than that, where JDRF is in the field of prevention of type 1, the staging paradigm should be seen as an enabling pilot on population-based risk for screening. It's not perfect, but we can reduce DKA. We can better define what drives type 1 diabetes, and that will enable us to better clinical design. We still need better biomarkers to drive at this idea of disease heterogeneity and refine these risks for progression. It's just not well understood. And the more we can look into how and why type 1 develops, the better we will get at driving therapies. And again, multiple therapies, and this is kind of the approach that JDRF has taken is let's try to support as much as possible that makes sense from a biological standpoint.
Subject, 30-year-old male from Rome, diagnosed 1 year ago, April 16, 2017. DKA, antibodies to the roof, treated with insulin in the hospital, they saved him. Then he leaves the hospital and then he completely stopped insulin. He says, I refuse to, in denial, I says, I'm going to live without insulin and I'm starting his vegan or vegetarian exercise, healthy diet, and starts omega-3 and high-dose vitamin D. And when he told me, he says, you're crazy, check your hemoglobin A1C, at least take Lantus as a baseline, maybe you don't need to cover with the bolus for the meals. But to me it was like quite impressive to see that his hemoglobin A1C went from 8.4, 5.6, 5.4, and now he called me all excited last week saying my last test at 4.6 and my C-peptide fasting is 1.0 nanograms. So thank you very much. Let's keep focus on patients and a cure and challenge the system if it doesn't work in the interest of the mission that we all share. Thank you.